Hello.
Hey. This is like an awkward.
This is so awkward.
This is like an awkward family reunion where like you haven't seen your uncle in a couple of years, and he's like, "Oh, you've gotten bigger,
Gained a little bit of weight.
Yeah, and like
Lots changed.
Yeah.
Welcome back to WACK. Wow, I can't believe I just said that.
It's been a long time. We've taken a year hiatus?
Not a year. Our last
close to a
episode
year.
was in May.
Oh.
And it's February.
Well, still, so almost a
February
year, but that was because, of course, we had the summer, and then we missed a semester for some very good reasons.
Good reasons that we'll talk about.
You will talk about that in just a second. But welcome back. Thank you for tuning back in. We are excited to have you. We have a lot of really exciting things planned for this semester. This episode is just kind of an introduction. Welcome back. We're going to talk about like our summers, our semesters, and talk about what we've been up to. And then we've got some future episodes. We're doing ghost hunting next week, kind of like a BuzzFeed Unsolved kind of video. So we're really excited to do that next episode. We're looking at doing some Jeopardy and some Family Feud, a couple interviews on the streets, and some fun and games like that. So hopefully, if you guys enjoy, our first couple episodes, you'll stick around and you'll become friends with us and you'll watch us throughout the semester.
And tell your friends.
Yes, tell your friends, tell your family, tell people you don't know. I mean, I will give you
Go
money.
up to strangers and literally just say, hey, do you know what the WACK podcast is?
Yeah.
And you can tell them.
You can be like a Jehovah's Witness, but for us.
Yes, exactly.
So that would be really cool.
So I think that, I was really proud of what we did with the WACK podcast starting straight out of the gate, because we started it probably October of, was it 2020?
It was 2020. It was right.
We started October 2020.
Yeah, no,
yes.
it was because it was
and
COVID.
I was really, really proud of kind of what we did and what we moved into spring semester. And then really, we did the Nito episode. We did a lot of fun, crazy episodes, but we really want to kind of branch out and do a lot of different things. And I think one thing that we really want to kind of tackle is doing outside things in the studio. So we normally did everything here in the studio with, a ton of crew and things along those lines. So we definitely want to kind of branch out. So I think that's why we're kind of bouncing off ideas about ghost hunting and, going to abandoned places possibly.
Yeah, things
and
like that.
then maybe doing like a fun game with like Jeopardy and getting a lot of different clubs on campus involved and just a lot of different people that we would like to reach out to. So I think that would be a good avenue as well. But as far as catching up, I know you guys are like, why are you back? What happened?
Well, we need to hear.
Everything was so great.
It was totally uninteresting for me. I'm gonna let you guys know right now. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, I had a nice.
I was the reason.
She was the reason we were not having WACK because I had a
take
nice, super relaxing summer. I literally got to hang out with.
After we finished, because our last episode, we actually didn't upload our last episode. Our last episode was us talking about just random stuff, and then we did like a celebratory thing with Dylan, and that was a really special episode, which I think we still have the footage for. I would like to.
I need to get it together. And
I
put it
would
out,
like to upload it. It was really special, and then we kind of just went our separate ways and went home for the summer and talk about kind of like what you did and what was going on.
I didn't do anything. I just gotten out of a pretty toxic relationship at the beginning of the summer, so I was like this free bird finally flying, and I got to hang out. Like, I was hanging out with my family, friends. I was meeting a ton of new people. I traveled all over North Carolina this past summer. Didn't really do anything out of state. Stayed in state. Went to the beach, mountains. Hiking. I picked up photography and videography.
You did do a lot of videography
started
and stuff.
working on filming weddings and doing things like that. So I picked up a lot of stuff over the summer, but I didn't do anything really crazy. Meredith, on the other hand, did. She had quite an experience, and I'm excited to hear about it too, because even I don't know the full scope of everything, because it was a pretty packed little summer for you. So
yeah, so
give it to us.
Like I said, we were really, really proud of kind of how we ended WACK, and I was really kind of struggling going into the summer. Moving home and not being with all of my friends, it was something, and I don't really have a ton of close friends that live in my area any longer. High school friends, they've kind of moved away. So I really struggled, but I had an internship During the summer, I had an internship with a local news station called WBTV in Charlotte. So I was there, and then I also worked at a country club, and I was getting started. So that kind of gave me a new variety of friends and stuff like that, and that was really fun. And I actually didn't tell anybody, but in May, I applied to the Disney College program down in Florida, and in July, I found out that I was accepted. So I had to break the terrible news to Spencer and all of my friends, and so I was in Florida last semester for the variety of it, and it was definitely an experience. And working with the company, I'm going to say right now, I have worked with the company. I do not speak on behalf of the Walt Disney Company. This is just my personal experience. I don't think I would ever do the college program again, just because college program, especially coming out of COVID, this was the first branch of students coming out of COVID, cheap labor. And so they will pay you dime and nickel for basically working you to death. And so that was something that I learned. I still have my best friend. She still works down at Disney. So I worked at Be Our Guest, which is a fine dining restaurant in the Magic Kingdom. I was a seater there, and I've met so many crazy different people. I had such great experiences, and it was amazing. But I knew kind of as I started getting halfway through it, I was like, okay, I'm not making any money. I had to kind of fend for myself, and my paycheck, I got paid every Thursday. It was maybe $100, and I was putting in 35, 40 hours a week. Yes. And it was something that I was really, and rent was taken out. And it was just something I was struggling with. And so I told my parents, I was like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. And so they were just like, come home for the holidays. So I said, okay. So I came home, and I was able to come and visit like my friends this semester. I know you and I met up over Christmas break and things along those lines. And so it gave me time to just chill and relax, not to have a lot of worries. And I came back to school this semester. But that was the main reason why we didn't do WACK, is because I was in Florida. But like I said, I think that it was such a great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world whatsoever. I really wouldn't.
What was, okay, since you're talking, I mean, I'll humor you here for a second.
Humor me. Or ask me any questions.
Because the Disney College program is a huge deal. Like,
it's a big deal. Like, people say if you want to get started with the company, do the college
that's
program.
the way to get your foot in the door. Yeah.
Right.
So what was your favorite, and I know you, like I said, or like you said earlier, you don't speak on behalf of the company, but I want to know, like, what was your favorite part of the Disney College program, and then what was your least favorite part?
I think my favorite part personally was probably the ability to get into the parks for free. So like when I wasn't working or I had 2 days off, I could just go to the parks whenever I wanted. And having that free time, and I got to know the in and outs of all the parks. I was able to kind of, like, I remember there was this PhotoPass worker that I saw almost every time I went to Disney Hollywood Studios. That's my personal favorite Disney park in Walt Disney World. And I saw him almost every time I went just on a day off. And so I was able to, kind of get in like a routine of people that worked there. And, I would be able to go with my girlfriends and just meet a ton of different people that were working and be like, hey, like I'm in the college program and all that kind of good stuff. Another fun thing was in the college program, we had not only a lot of fun in work, but we also had a lot of fun after work, if you get what I'm saying. So on Tuesdays, we would go to a place called Senior Frogs in Orlando, and then on Thursdays, we'd go to a line dancing bar called Cowboys.
Oh,
and I would go
okay.
every Tuesday, Thursdays.
Is Cowboys like Arizona Pete's?
It's very much, it's
Okay,
almost
gotcha.
similar.
Okay.
I mean, it's almost like exactly the same. And so those were probably, I have some of my fondest memories at those places. And I FaceTime my best friend Jaden every day from the college program, and I tell her, she's just like, I miss you, like, you're my hype man, like, and she would go to the bar, she's like, it's not the same, and I'm like, oh, stop, like, I want to come back.
It's like modern romance.
Right,
ripped away,
right,
yeah.
She and I are just inseparable. And my other probably, I know you said the best part, I have like, there were like a lot, the friends that I made.
Yeah.
I have some girlfriends that will be my best friends for, life. And I only knew them for 2 to 3 months, and it just shows that it's not about the matter of time. It's just about who you are and the quality of it.
Yeah, okay.
My least favorite part of the college program was probably not the actual job itself, but just going through the training was really intense. And also just the funds were just not there as well.
Yeah.
So that was really tough. The place where we lived is called Flamingo Crossings. Beautiful. It was great.
Was it like a campus or like a dorm kind of thing, or?
So it was built by American Campus, and they build dormitories all over public colleges and universities all over the United States.
So it was a lot like a dorm.
It was very similar, almost exactly the same. So it was beautiful in there, but the rent was really expensive, and the funds were just kind of tough.
Yeah.
And the job, I was on my feet for 8 to 10 hours a day, just running around like crazy. And, depending on your shift, you either get 30-minute breaks or 15-minute breaks. And sometimes you're not swapped over. I remember one shift, one of my responsibilities was to set tables. And so you would just go around with a tray of like table sets of forks, knives, and spoons and napkins. And it was heavy. And I would go around with maybe like 12 place settings at a time. And I just go around the whole restaurant, and a table that was just bussed, I would set up for like a new seating.
Okay, so you
I
were
did
kind
that
of like
for
a bus girl or something?
Not a bus girl, so we couldn't actually touch the food, but I would clean it off, and then I would reset it for a new family, because our turnover time in the restaurant was so crazy. I remember like one shift I set tables for like 6 hours one day. Yeah, and I didn't have a break. So I got into my shift at like maybe like 1 o'clock, and like it was like 6 or 6:30. I went up to my coordinator. I was like, hey, like I've been setting tables for like 6 hours, and then they sent me on break, and then I did something else for the rest of the shift. But no, it was crazy. But I definitely don't think I regret it. And the one thing that I did, which I think was advice that I will give to future college programmers, is don't be afraid to talk to anybody. You have no idea what kind of guest is going to come. Like the amount of celebrities that I met at that restaurant. I met Christina Aguilera, Patrick Starr, who is like this drag queen beauty guru or whatever.
I know who you're talking about.
After I left, Carrie Underwood came to the restaurant. Steph Curry and his family came. I know
really
there was
sweet.
a couple of others. I know when I was working, Tom Holland and Chris Evans were in Disney Hollywood Studios that day. So like there are just so many people that just come. You don't know who you're gonna meet.
Yeah.
And I'll tell this story really quick because I don't want to talk for too long about this, but my favorite story of the college program, which I tell like anybody asks me, is so I was working one shift and I was seating this family, and it was the 50th anniversary on October 1st. That was something else that I hold very dear to my heart, is working on the 50th anniversary, because I was only a select few of Magic Kingdom workers working on the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. That is something that nobody else can say, not a ton of people can say.
Yeah, no, it's a selective.
It's something I'll hold special to my heart forever. So I was working, and I was seating this family. I think it was like a group of 5. It was like these older people. They were just having a good time. They were coming to our restaurant, and for some reason, they just loved me. For some reason, like I don't know if it was like the spiel that I was saying about the restaurant, or I don't know if it was just my personality or something, but they're like, oh my gosh, Meredith, like, are you going to serve us, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, like, I'm not going to. I'll come check on you guys later. And so later comes on, and I'm exiting like the restaurant and stuff like that. And they come up to me, and they're saying goodbye, and I'm like, and the guy looks at me, he's like, oh yeah, like that guy Rob like hugs me, kisses me on the cheek. That guy Rob, like, he's our producer. I was like, oh, like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? And he was like, yeah, like Rob, he's like a Broadway musical producer, like 7-time Grammy nominated, like
that's so
Broadway
freaking
musical.
cool.
I think I told you this story.
Yeah, you've told me this story before.
Yeah.
It's called acting. It's where you act like you've like never heard the story before.
But it blew my mind, and I walked up to him. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm a senior at High Point University, like studying media production. Like, what can you do for me? And followed him on Instagram, and I've been talking to him and networking. And before the Omicron variant hit, he wanted me to come like to New York and come to like a press meeting and stuff like that. He's a guy that owns like a film and video company, so you just don't know who you're gonna meet. Like, you just have to put yourself out there, especially in like Walt Disney World, because like a lot of people like that, they come to Walt Disney World or even Disneyland. Do you know what I mean?
And you don't. I mean, and half the time you don't know who those people are,
right?
Because you might be like, there are a lot of famous people out there who aren't actually celebrity famous.
Right.
Like Joe Michaels, who works here and is a professor here. You know how many Emmys Joe Michaels has and how famous he is.
But people are not going to
but
go
people
out
don't
to
know
the
that.
restaurant and be like, or like go out to the grocery store and be like, oh my God, it's Joe Michaels. Like,
Yeah,
I totally
exactly.
agree.
No.
So
But
that's
good.
probably like one of my favorite stories, like from the college program in my experience. Absolutely, for sure.
Glad to hear Meredith had a
So,
good time. We
that
have
was
to.
the reason that we had such a long hiatus.
Yes, and I was very lazy last semester. I wasn't
were.
very on top of things just because I was going through a lot. I had just gotten done with my job at Chick-fil-A. I now work at Target. Chick-fil-A was quite an
You do not speak on behalf of the company.
I don't speak on behalf of the company, but there was a lot of illegal things going on at the restaurant, and I got booted out pretty much, which was kind of whack for me, like the podcast. But it was really weird. It was just a lot of stuff going on, just very uncomfortable. So I left and went to Target. And then right after I got my job at Target, came back to school, and the semester
We've just
has
been
been
working.
honestly, it's just
Crazy.
been grind heavy. You
Yeah.
sit down, do your homework, get stuff done.
It's-
And I've been sick as a dog.
Oh, so
We were supposed to
let's-
start the
let's
podcast.
talk
Okay,
about this.
we'll get this done in 2 minutes and we'll be done, okay? Christy, our director, we love you. Give us 2 more minutes. 2 more
How
minutes,
long-
we'll be
how
done.
long has it been?
But seriously, we're already like 15, 20 minutes
Oh my
in.
God, we could talk forever.
But like, I got sick as a dog in November. I had the worst sinus infection I've ever had in my life.
remember that.
For 3 weeks, I was coughing and snotting up nothing but like orange mucus. I was dying. I was bedridden.
visual.
And then finally, Christmas break comes around, and I'm like, thank God, I finally feel better again. I can go see my family. I can go hang out with people. Boom, my brother brings COVID home. And then I get COVID, and my little
For the
brother gets
second time.
second time, and I had just had COVID last Christmas, and so then I had COVID, then I got over COVID, and the semester started, and I was feeling great, and then I got the flu, and then I got over the flu, and then I got pneumonia. So whoever is preying on my downfall, it's working. So stop, because eventually,
it's gonna kill you.
Eventually, I'm gonna croak. So we need this. We need me to be healthy. We need Meredith to be healthy. Whoever's out there practicing voodoo and witchcraft, stop for just a couple
A
months.
millisecond,
When
please.
summer hits, you can do whatever you want to me. But
Yes.
before then, let me focus on school.
So for the past
So-
3 weeks, I was in quarantine the first week we were supposed to do the podcast because I was contact traced of COVID, so
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do it. The following week, I got the flu. I was
Yeah.
bedridden for 5 days. It was,
Literally.
oh my God, terrible. And then last week,
And I got the
you
flu.
had the flu.
And it wasn't as bad on me as it was you. I think I was only in bed for like 3 days, but good Lord.
For me,
Yeah,
it
we've
was
been getting
it was
whooped.
that fever that just could not break.
Yeah.
So and he texted me day of. He's like, "Hey, how you feeling? Like, you thinking about WACK tonight?" And I was literally laying in bed, and my mom, who's a CRNA, she started an IV on me, and I had the worst fever. I said, "Bro, I am ill."
Like, it's not happening.
And
yeah.
not a chance. Like it was so bad. My mom had to come and pick me up from school, and if she wasn't a nurse, I probably would have had to go to the hospital to get fluid because I was so dehydrated. It was really crazy. It was super scary too.
But speaking
but-
of dehydration, I'm a little dehydrated. I don't have any water, and the rules of the camera, you can't get up until the episode's over. So
Are we ending it?
we're gonna end it here. I know it's been a short episode.
Wait, before we end it, we have to. You mentioned a little bit about future episodes, but let's talk about what we're gonna do next week.
Next week, for our next episode, we're doing a ghost hunting episode. It's going to kind of be like BuzzFeed Unsolved.
It's gonna be an off-campus location.
We're going to an off-campus location. We're going to be scanning for, extraterrestrial life, maybe some
Maybe
spiritual
Spencer will turn
life,
into
stuff
a
like
ghost.
that.
You never know.
You never know what's going to happen, guys, because this is the WACK podcast. Well, it's not even a podcast anymore, really, because we're going to take it out and do things.
Yes, I
we
feel like
are-
something we would love to transition to is, even though we love sitting down, having a podcast type thing.
It's
we
good
would,
to
We
get
would
up
really
and be
love to
active.
get up and maybe do like a.
Right, because you never know what's going to happen. You gotta. Yeah. See, look, even the
Look,
cameras, don't know what's
up
going on.
And we're active. Hey guys, so we're gonna end it here.
Yes.
We love you guys, and we're so happy to be back. But thank you so much for watching. Follow us on Instagram.
If you want to do like a bow.
We're gonna start a TikTok page, and we're gonna start posting on TikTok.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Bye. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody. Okay, there you go.
Yay!
That was a cute little quaint episode.
That was so cute.